Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're approaching 65, already 65, or helping a parent, spouse, or friend through this big milestone, then today's video is absolutely critical for you. We are diving deep into an important topic that unfortunately too many people get wrong: enrolling in Medicare Part B. Now, if you think this is a straightforward process, think again. There are hidden pitfalls, costly penalties, and timing issues that could haunt you for the rest of your life if you're not careful. So stick with me, because today we are breaking it all down clearly, simply, and with the real-world tips you need to avoid some of the biggest mistakes that seniors face every single day. When people think about Medicare, most think it's automatic. You turn 65 and boom, Medicare just happens, right? Well, not exactly. While some people are automatically enrolled in Medicare Part A and Part B, many others have to take specific steps to sign up. If you miss those steps or misunderstand the rules, you could face penalties that literally last your entire life. And no one wants to carry a financial burden like that through retirement. Let's start by talking about what Medicare Part B actually is. Medicare itself is divided into several parts. Part A covers hospital stays and inpatient care. Part B covers outpatient care, things like doctor's visits, lab tests, preventive services, durable medical equipment, and outpatient surgeries. Most people don't pay a premium for Part A because they or their spouse paid Medicare taxes while working. But Part B comes with a monthly premium, and that's where decisions and mistakes come into play. Your first opportunity to enroll in Medicare Part B is during your initial enrollment period, also known as the IEP. This is a 7-month window that begins 3 months before your 65th birthday, includes the month you turn 65, and ends 3 months after. So, for example, if you were born in June, your enrollment window would start in March and end in September. This period is absolutely critical. It's your golden ticket to getting into Medicare without any penalties. If you miss it and don't qualify for a special enrollment period later, your next chance to sign up is during the general enrollment period from January 1st to March 31st, and your coverage wouldn't even start until July. That could leave you uninsured for months, plus you would start accumulating late penalties. Now here's where it gets tricky. Some people are automatically enrolled in Medicare Parts A and B if they're already receiving Social Security benefits before they turn 65. In that case, you'll get your red, white, and blue Medicare card in the mail a few months before your birthday. Easy, right? But if you're not receiving Social Security benefits yet, and more people are delaying benefits than ever before to boost their future payouts, you are responsible for enrolling yourself. No letter, no phone call, no automatic enrollment. You have to take the initiative. And here's the problem. So many people don't realize this. They assume Medicare is automatic. They assume they'll be notified. Then suddenly it's months past their 65th birthday, and they discover they missed their initial enrollment period. The result? A monthly penalty that sticks with you for the rest of your life, 10% more for every 12-month period you didn't sign up when you were supposed to. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm still working. I have health insurance through my employer. Surely I don't need Medicare Part B yet. That might be true, but only if your employer has 20 or more employees. That's the magic number. If you work for a company with fewer than 20 employees, Medicare automatically becomes your primary insurance when you turn 65, whether you want it to or not. And if you don't enroll in Medicare Part B, your work insurance might not pay what Medicare would have paid, leaving you holding the bag for the majority of your healthcare costs. For those lucky enough to work for a larger company with 20 or more employees, you can usually delay enrolling in Part B without any penalty, as long as you remain actively employed and covered under that employer plan. But, and it's a big but, the clock starts ticking again as soon as your employment ends or you lose your coverage. From that moment, you have only 8 months to sign up for Part B. If you miss that special enrollment period, you'll once again face late penalties, delayed coverage, and possibly months or even a year without insurance. Let's talk about those penalties in more detail because they are brutal. The Part B late enrollment penalty is an additional 10% added to your monthly premium for every full 12-month period you could have had Part B but didn't sign up. And that penalty doesn't go away after a few years. It lasts forever for the rest of your life while you're on Medicare. Imagine paying 20%, 30%, or 40% more than everyone else month after month because of a simple mistake. It's heartbreaking, and it's avoidable. It's not just the financial penalty you have to worry about either. Without Medicare Part B, you might not have insurance coverage for essential outpatient services. Things like seeing a specialist, getting lab work, X-rays, preventive screenings, even getting a wheelchair or a walker. If you have a medical event without proper insurance, you could be stuck with tens of thousands of dollars in unexpected medical bills. And if you think you can just enroll in Part B immediately when you need it, think again. Delays and waiting periods could leave you exposed right when you're most vulnerable. So how exactly do you enroll? It's actually simpler than you might think if you know where to go. You enroll through the Social Security Administration. You can do it online at ss.gov, over the phone, or by visiting your local Social Security office. These days, applying online is usually the fastest and easiest method. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes if you have your documents ready. But you absolutely must mark your calendar and start the process a few months before your 65th birthday to avoid last-minute surprises. Even if you plan to delay enrolling because you're still working, it's a good idea to call Social Security ahead of time and verify that you meet the conditions to avoid penalties. It's better to spend 5 minutes double-checking now than to spend a lifetime paying for a mistake. Now, here's a massive trap that catches way too many people: COBRA insurance. COBRA lets you continue your employer health insurance after you leave your job, often for up to 18 months. But Medicare does not consider COBRA to be active employer coverage. That means if you're 65 or older and you're relying on COBRA without enrolling in Medicare Part B, you're making a huge mistake. You must enroll in Part B when you turn 65, even if you have COBRA, or you'll face penalties and gaps in coverage. And it's not just COBRA. Veterans using VA healthcare services also fall into a gray area. VA benefits are amazing, but they aren't considered creditable coverage for Medicare purposes. The VA itself strongly encourages veterans to enroll in Medicare Part B when they turn 65 to ensure they have access to non-VA care when needed. Without Medicare Part B, if you ever wanted or needed civilian healthcare outside the VA system, you could be completely uncovered. Don't let assumptions put you at risk. Let's take a quick pause. If this information is helpful so far, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you clear, timely information on critical topics like this one. Alright, back to the big headline, the part you absolutely must not forget. Timing is everything with Medicare. If you enroll during the first 3 months of your initial enrollment period, your coverage begins the month you turn 65. But if you enroll during your birthday month or in the 3 months after, your coverage start date will be delayed. It could be delayed by 1, 2, or even 3 months, depending on when exactly you sign up. That delay could leave you dangerously exposed without insurance coverage when you need it most. I want you to imagine needing a surgery or specialist care, or even a simple medical test, and finding out your Medicare coverage hasn't kicked in yet because you enrolled too late during your enrollment window. It happens all the time. Planning early prevents these devastating situations. Also remember that Medicare Part B doesn't cover everything. While it handles outpatient services very well, it doesn't cover prescriptions, dental care, eye exams, or hearing aids. If you want drug coverage, you'll need to enroll in a Medicare Part D plan. If you want additional benefits, you might consider a Medicare Advantage plan, also called Part C. But we'll go into those options in future videos, so make sure you're subscribed. Let me share a real-world story that really drives home the importance of timing. One viewer recently told us they delayed Part B because they thought their retiree insurance would cover everything. But when they went for outpatient surgery, their retiree plan refused to pay because they weren't enrolled in Medicare Part B. They were stuck with an $18,000 bill and nothing they could do about it. Another viewer believed that because their spouse was still working and covering them through a workplace plan, they didn't need Part B, but because the spouse was the employee, not them, Medicare became their primary insurance the moment they turned 65. Their claims were denied, and they faced thousands in uncovered costs. These are not rare stories. These are everyday realities for people who don't know the rules. And that's exactly why you're watching this video, to be one of the people who gets it right. Let's close with a quick checklist you should keep in mind. Are you approaching 65? Start reviewing your Medicare options now. Are you delaying Social Security? Then you must actively sign up for Medicare yourself. Are you still working? Confirm the size of your employer to see if you can safely delay Part B. Are you relying on COBRA or VA care? Make sure you understand the real rules. Timing, planning, and education are your greatest allies. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this information saves you or someone you love from costly mistakes. Please like this video if you found it helpful, share it with friends and family, and comment below about your experience with Medicare. And remember to subscribe so you never miss an important update. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay informed, and as always, stay protected.